Hi. Well, as a music educator in the public schools, I see and work with many students who have what some people might call tone deafness, or they have a difficulty repeating back to me a pitch or melody that I sing to them, at least with any sort of accuracy. Now, tone deafness is a term that is used kind of commonly, but it's not always used the right way. 1 in 7 people will claim that they are tone deaf, which, as the term implies, would mean they are unable to hear or recognize different tones or pitches. Now that is not really true with that many people. In fact, the actual condition of tone deafness is really called amusia, which is only, as a study in Britain has shown, only affecting around 4% of people. Now, that would mean that there would be 1 in every one of my classes that had amusia, and I find that hard to believe from the students that I work with. I think that the number may actually be less than that. But amusia is an actual congenital condition where the brain does not process music and process pitches properly, and so that person with amusia cannot literally hear differences in pitches. I think that condition is actually not as common as the study in Britain might have suggested. My students, with work and with a little focus on their singing and their ability to hear and repeat, seem to improve over time and seem to get better through the years as I work with them. So I have a hard time believing that any of them actually have the condition of amusia, at least not that I've encountered. So, tone deafness, where does this come from? Well, I'd like to suggest that those people who claim they are tone deaf, even though they do not actually have the brain disorder called amusia, I believe these people are people who were not properly exposed to early childhood music, at least not in the right ways. So I'm suggesting to parents and caregivers of students or of small children before school age some ways to encourage and expose those children to proper musical training, in hopes that as they reach school age and beyond, they will have more control over their voices and just a general overall more higher ability in music. Same as we might have those students work on reading or adding or little math problems when they're young, we can also help them with music problems. And so people might think that a child being able to comprehend music at an early age, at an age younger than 5, may be difficult, but we see children that are able to at least begin to imitate sounds and begin to reproduce pitches at a relatively young age. Now, Gordon suggests that with his stages that he mentions of musical development, he suggests that as early as birth through age 2 to 4, students are able to absorb, or children are able to absorb, are absorbing and listening and hearing sounds. They're responding to sounds, both randomly and eventually purposefully. And then from age 2 to 5, they begin to imitate sounds and begin to reproduce sounds that are hopefully close to what they're hearing. And then age 3, they're beginning, at age 3 and above, they can actually sing or produce notes. Now, some ways that we can encourage them is just, one way, it's very easy to pop a CD in or a DVD and expose them to music and expose them to different kinds of singing and songs that way. But it's also real important that they have live human interaction musically. And as carers or parents, some of the easy things we can do are just simple tunes, simple changes in our voices, in the tone and the pitch of our voices that they can recognize and hear. Even use that typical playful banter melody that we've heard. Da, 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 dum. Just make up words to something simple like that while you're giving directions, such as, come and sit at the table, time to eat your dinner. Just little things like that, even with the youngest of children, exposing them to the use of that voice. And the other thing is, Alison Gopnik wrote a book called The Philosophical Baby, and she suggests that babies can really influence their environment. So let your child also influence you and influence the things that you're doing musically with them. See what things they enjoy, what kinds of musical interactions they seem to get something out of, and work on them, play with them. Maybe just simple siren sound, ooh, might arouse some sort of a response or reaction that seems positive. So things like that, and try changing your speed of how fast or slow you interact with your child musically, and just play with it and encourage them, interact with them more musically, more often. And if you do that, and if they have a chance to hopefully imitate you and hear you singing, then hopefully as they grow up, they will also have the abilities to create those sounds with their voices and use their voices in those ways. Thank you.